Welcome to this episode of the Keto Vegan. I am Rachel, I am your host. In today's episode, I am going to show you what I do for an easy lunch. I hope it's going to be easy, I haven't started it yet. I've got my mother, my sister, my 3 children, my granddaughter, my 2 daughters' other halves. Did I say my son? Sorry Jack if I forgot you. All coming for lunch tomorrow. It is a Saturday. I've just moved into this house and Mum and my sister Naomi want to come and visit, and because Mum's coming down, she lives in Kent about 2 hours away, I invited my children and they all thought they'd come and see her as well. So I have got a few for lunch tomorrow. I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. See what I do. Enjoy the episode. I'm going to do satay chicken. Everybody who has it loves the peanut sauce or the satay sauce. And I realised that there's 8 of us for lunch. I'm going to use all 4 This Isn't Chicken Pieces packs that I have bought. These are the ingredients. In the marinade, so I'm going to marinate the This Isn't Chicken Pieces. And I'm going to do them all, which is about half a pack per person. It took me about 5 minutes to find where I'd put this container. I like it because it has a lid. Pampered Chef. Do you remember when that was around? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in some sugar-free Maple Grove Farms. So it's like sugar-free maple syrup. I'm going to put in liquid smoke. I'm nearly out of that. I need to order more. I'm going to put in some dark soy sauce, generous amount of garlic and some ginger. Maple syrup's in. Generous squeeze of liquid smoke. We love liquid smoke. Honestly, you should smell it. It is gorgeous. If you haven't bought any yet, get some bought. Not too much soy because this is really strong. And then ginger paste, very heaped teaspoon of that. And garlic paste, 2 of that. Then we give it a nice stir.
You could use a whisk to mix it up. I just used the teaspoon I'd been using. Once it's nicely mixed and blended, then add all your This Isn't Chicken pieces or whatever protein you're going to use.
Mix it up, making sure everything is coated. Cover it and then put it in the fridge. Leave it overnight, ready to serve tomorrow. Once in a while, when you remember through the day, and first thing the next morning, give it another stir. Turn it all over in that lovely marinade. My This Isn't Chicken has been marinating overnight. It has really absorbed all that fluid. There's only a bit in the bottom, so I'm going to continue sort of turning it every now and then. And when I bake it, I am not going to spread it out too thinly because I don't want them drying out too much. So I'll put them in a small dish and cook them in the oven for 20 minutes covered in foil or a lid. The first thing I'm going to cook is the chilli to go in the stuffed peppers. I ordered online and the peppers at the back are the ones I got online. And so I went into my local supermarket yesterday and bought some more because those are pretty small. That's a problem, isn't it, with ordering online? You can't pick. And I know it's so convenient, especially if time is an issue. So those are going to be halved and then baked for 10-15 minutes with a covering of oil to get them nice and roasted. I'm going to cook the chilli with some sesame oil and some flora buttery because that tastes nice. That is vegan. I'm going to use the Plant Pioneers no meat mince, some spring onions, a couple of green chilies there, some grated cheese on the top. Don't forget that's high carb, so very limited amount of that, or do a couple without. Tomato puree, chilli puree, some peppers that were reduced in the supermarket yesterday because one was a bit manky, so I've cut that manky end off. I'm going to slice some mushrooms really finely or chop them even, and I've got some chopped tomatoes to go in there as well. And then my spices, I've got some cayenne pepper, chili powder, and some smoked paprika, some sweet, some hot. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. I will find out what it is as I go along.
Add the fats to a large pan, start heating that, and whilst that's heating, start chopping the onions, spring onions of course. Then put those in and let them start cooking. Next thing is finely chop the chilies. Make sure you don't rub your eyes in the midst of doing that and scrub your fingers really firmly. Afterwards, you certainly don't want to be rubbing your eyes with chili oil on your fingers. Once they're nicely cooked and sweated, is that a right word? I don't know. Then pour in your pretend mince. Give that a nice stir. That's the stage that I add all the herbs and spices, the chili puree, the tomato puree, lots and lots of tomato puree, the paprika, the pretend or the Cheats chili, the Cheats smoked garlic. I do like that as well. So put those in there, give that a nice stir as it is cooking. I then chopped those dodgy peppers. Don't tell the people that ate it. They were actually really nice from the supermarket and added those. Then went in a tin, just one tin of chopped tomatoes. I did not want this mince, this chili, to be too wet. It needed to be nice and dry because it's going in those peppers. Once the tomatoes are in, give that a stir, get that sizzling. Then I chopped the mushrooms. I'm very random when I chop mushrooms. I just chop away. I don't do it nice and tidy. You can tell most of my cooking is not tidy. Then add those, stir that up. Whilst that is then simmering nice and slowly, I then halved the peppers, put those on a baking tray and let the mince just simmer a bit longer. I put the peppers in the oven on about 160 centigrade and covered them in oil so they baked a little bit. After that, I took them out. I then filled them with the mince. I had a little bit of mince left over, which I put into a pot ready for me to eat later in the week. I then topped those peppers with grated cheese and I put them in the fridge ready to cook later. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to make a coleslaw, no carrot. I've decided to put some spring onion in because I've got some spare. And spring onion is the lowest carb onion. I'm going to use red cabbage, that green cabbage, can't remember what it's called. What is it? Can't remember. It's not a sweetheart cabbage. I think it might be Savoy. Don't know. Can't actually remember. Sorry about that. And I've got some celeriac in the fridge. I'm going to shred that with my food processor. I'm not going to be grating it like I did when I was living at Cookies. It's very cramped in this kitchen. One of the first modifications of this house I'm going to do is change the kitchen, but that's going to be quite a way ahead. And then I went to turn on my food processor to grate the celeriac and it was broken. A little thing off the lid that then has to catch into the turny thing as a security thing had broken off, so it ended up in the bin. That's a very sad. It was a wedding present back in 1993. So that is 31 years old. It lasted much longer than the marriage did, that's for sure. Anyway, so I did grate the celeriac. I finely chopped, sliced, whatever, the onions and the cabbages, mixed that all in, added lots of mayonnaise, and then put that and covered that in the fridge as well. The next thing I did, I thought, well, goodness me, I need to make potato salad. I didn't eat any potato salad. I got the miniature new potatoes from Marks and Spencer's via Ocado. And I used a whole bag of those. I didn't need a lot because it's only going to be a few people eating the potato salad. In preparation, once they had boiled, I chopped lots of chives and some red spring onions. Now, the reason I bought the green spring onions was for the potato salad, but I'd used them all up in the other things and I didn't realise. Thank goodness I found some of those red spring onions that were also reduced in Sainsbury's last night. So I prepped those ready to go in once potato salad was cold. I then started making the satay sauce. In there is smooth peanut butter this time. I think I prefer satay sauce that's a smooth peanut butter. Lots of coconut cream, a little bit of sugar-free sugar. I use Truvia for baking. Some rice vinegar, smoked paprika, very lazy chili pieces, garlic paste, lemon juice, dark soy, a bit of toasted sesame oil as well. You just put it all in and very, very gently heat it. This time I put in too much peanut butter and it went too thick. I then got the corn in the cob ready in the saucepan, everything ready to go in the oven. As they arrived at about 11:30, the oven went on and in went the chicken pieces, in went the stuffed peppers, the corn on the cob started to gently boil, and then at about midday, once the table was set and pulled out, thank you Jack for doing that, Everything went on the table. They absolutely loved it. You can see a picture there if you are watching on YouTube. Thank you for getting this far. I hope you try some of those recipes. If you want the ingredients, just send me an email. I can send those to you. I'd love it if you followed or subscribed to the podcast. And next time, find out about Katie, who is a nutritionist, a vegan, lives in Australia. Me and her have a chat about her journey and her story. I'll see you then.